Am I glad to see you two here. I'm not sure how much longer we can hold out. It's bad. Really bad. Their weapons and automatons are much stronger than anything we have. Nobody's been seriously hurt, but a few Wildfire members got minor injuries. Fortunately for us, it seems like they were holding back. You see those two in black? They've been guarding the mine entrance. They're not letting anyone in or out. Hey! Just because you have fancy equipment doesn't mean you can bully us! Who do you think you are? What's the matter? Got nothing to say?
What's going on inside the mine? Any ideas?
A few miners made it out earlier. They looked pretty panicked. They said the whole mine had been seized by the people in black. These uninvited guests keep talking about asset evaluation, whatever that means. All I know is that they're seriously disrupting the lives of the Underworlders.
Do you think Topaz is around here somewhere? Maybe her cronies are acting without her authorization.
The person you're talking about, are they in charge of the people in black? Hotaz, Pazto, whatever her name is, she can wait. Right now, the most important thing is to free those trapped in the Great Mine. Are you two with me?
Clocking off.
Should I take...
My friend, looking for a ticket?
Should I take...
Hey, you two! Cat got your tongue or something? If you knew what was best for you, you'd get out of my way!
You guys must be exhausted standing here all day. How about you take a little lunch break? I'm sure the IPC allows that, right? What's their deal?
You two were talking to the director in the snow plains.
So it's you! You're the one who was threatening to take us out in the snow plains! Do you even know who you're talking to? If your boss knows to treat us with respect, you'd better start showing some yourself.
I can't let you pass. My team leader said that if anyone gets through, I'll lose 6 months of performance bonuses.
Team leader? You're even lower on the pecking order than I thought.
Shut up! I spent 7 years on a forsaken asteroid preparing to join the IPC. I went through 17 interviews before they finally hired me. What right do you deadbeats have to criticize me?
IPC? Interviews? I don't know what you're rambling on about, but you're really testing my patience. No need to waste our breath on this idiot. Let's do this.
Time for a buzz. This is double speed.
The sanctuary is but a vision. Break!
Time for a buzz.
What's in your prescription?
but a vision! Break!
Time for a buzz. This is double speed.
That's it? He sure took off quickly.
17 rounds of interviews and these are the best people they can find? Huh, what a joke.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I've been warned that the ones in the mine won't go down without a fight. Let's set off when you're ready.
Caught your breath yet? It's time to show these IPC fools who they're dealing with. Right after we finished chatting with Topaz in the museum, did it take you that long to notice? I thought you were supposed to be the observant one. The quicker we handle the IPC, the faster we can get back to enjoying the celebrations. Let Zila know when you're ready to go.
Ready for action? It's time to kick the IPC out of the underworld. Let's get moving.
Hello, it's Mr. Svarog, isn't it? And this cute little girl must be Clara.
Hello, miss. Are you...
I'm Topaz. I've come to have a chat with Mr. Svarog.
Clara, go inside and wait for me.
Huh? But if you have a guest, maybe I should...
She is not a guest. Neither is she a friend. Go, Clara. Everything will be fine.
So, it seems my source was right. Who'd have thought that such a strong bond could exist between a giant robot and a little girl? So heartwarming.
You bear the insignia of the Interastral Peace Corporation. What is your motive for coming here?
Straight to the point, huh? I like your style. Eurillo 6. Are robots familiar with that term? Anyway, it refers to the planet we're currently standing on. It's about to become the property of the IPC. No one can reverse this outcome. Not you, not the Nameless, nor any power in the galaxy. I only care about one thing right now. Demonstrating to the shareholders of the IPC that Eurillo 6 can generate value. In the long run, this is a way, the only way, to ensure Belobog's long-term interests. I need your help to achieve this goal.
Long-term interests undefined. Analyzing objectives. Analysis failed. Tell me, emissary, how do you plan to convince the IPC leadership?
That's simple. I'll show you.
This is...
Source code, or to be more precise, source code that is able to take control of all mechanized units in Belobog. I'm sure you're familiar with this. All mechanized units manufactured in Belobog over the last 700 years utilize the underlying systems created by the IPC. The code is so refined that the engineers never saw any reason to change it. I assume you're also aware that there was once a large automaton factory in the underworld. Thousands upon thousands of automatons, enough to crush the Legion's vanguard, lay dormant within. This is my bargaining chip for negotiating with the higher-ups. I'll convince them that Eurillo 6 has a place in the company's long-term strategies. But first, I need a guide to show me where these automatons are buried.
I understand. Your long-term interests can be defined as the survival of civilization at a macro level. What are your intentions for the people currently living here?
Their future has already been purchased. All I can do is make them accept this fact, using a relatively peaceful approach.
I understand. I will
Oh, so you're not as stubborn as the rumors suggest.
The future you speak of is beyond my computational range, but my emotional analysis indicates that you are indeed trying to find ways to ensure the survival of this world. Additionally, calculations indicate a 96.4% probability of compliance through force if I refuse to cooperate.
Your calculations are slightly on the conservative side. Here's to our future cooperation. If you would...
All the miners here, huddled together. Anyone else getting deja vu?
Well, the situation here is pretty similar to when you first arrived. It's just that instead of a few thugs and broken robots, now we're dealing with much more formidable adversaries.
Hey, check it out! Isn't that Topaz's little trotter over there? Oh, what was it again? Numby, right?
What? Isn't that thing a fragmentum monster? She's keeping one as a pet?
The IPC are all about their sci-fi sorcery, so it's not that surprising. Wanna go take a look? Sounds like you two are getting along. What's Numby saying? Wow, that's so deep. Come on, stop fooling around.
Look, you guys. Looks like it wants to leave.
Looks like they want to find their master. Let's follow them.
Help! Those people dressed in black are attacking us!
Hey, I'm talking to you. Where do you guys store the Geomarrow?
I really don't know anything!
This place is filled with nothing but incompetence.
Those cowards! I guess they want to do this the hard way.
Time for a buzz.
The sanctuary is but a vision! Break!
Time for a buzz.
Fearless. The sanctuary is but a vision! Break!
Time for a buzz. This is double speed. Time for a buzz. Nice. Let's do it again when you're leveled up.
Looks like Numby's in a good mood.
But aren't they on the IPC side? Strange.
Look! That big guy down there. Is he the one in charge?
We'll see who's really in charge. Let's go!
Huh? Where'd Numby go?
Wow. For something so short and stubby, they're surprisingly nimble. Well, guess that's that. We're on our own now. Let's keep going. Hey, you! Are you in charge around here?
All local. The IPC is currently conducting asset evaluation work here. Local residents are advised to follow those responsible for evacuation to the...
Don't lie to us! You seized the mine by force for yourself. You drove the locals out of their homes. I'm warning you. Get lost or suffer the consequences. Don't you dare show your face around here again!
And who might you be? You have quite the attitude. This is our jurisdiction now. We are all powerful here. You know Topaz? Interesting. It doesn't matter. The Strategic Investment Department has no obligation to talk to anyone not related to this project. In cases where debtors fail to repay within the set time frame, the IPC reserves the right to skip negotiations and take over all assets. We're simply following the rules. What exactly is your problem?
You know, it's funny how the rules always seem to work in your favor, don't you think? This world's been hanging by a thread, and now you're here to pull the plug on it.
Don't blame me. I'm simply following orders. Do you think I get to make those kinds of decisions?
Save your breath, March. I never held out any hope of resolving this problem peacefully. Didn't you claim the IPC was all-powerful? Well, now's the perfect chance to show us what you can do.
If I knew things were gonna get this heated, I'd have applied for overtime. Anyway, since you seem intent on settling this matter with violence, prepare yourselves for my heavy labor again.
The truth of life and death, revealed in an instant. The sanctuary is but a vision! Break!
Time for a buzz. This is double speed.
Lance forward!
Fearless. Fearless. The sanctuary is but a vision! Break!
What's in your prescription?
Lance forward!
Fearless.
This is double speed.
The sanctuary is but a vision! Break!
Time for a buzz.
but a vision! Break!
Lance forward!
Okay.
This is double speed.
What's in your prescription?
Time for a buzz.
Useless. The sanctuary is but a vision! Break! Useless.
Lance forward!
Not a scrap.
This is double speed.
The sanctuary is but a vision! Break!
Lance forward!
More enemies. Time for a buzz.
The truth of life and death. The sanctuary is but a vision! Break!
Let me tend your wound.
Lance ablaze.
Lance forward!
Who are you people? Not even our tech could take you down.
We took down the Doomsday Beast, the Stellaron, and Fantilia. Did you really think you could stop us?
Darn it. I'm all out of ammo.
Sir, we've just received word from the director.
Director Topaz? What did she say?
Teams are not to disrupt the lives of local inhabitants during the asset evaluation period. Teams that violate this directive will have their year-end bonuses reduced by 60%!
60%? We're done for! Attention all personnel! Evacuate the mine immediately! Erase all traces of your presence!
So, are we all good here, or what?
Yeah. Judging by the looks on their faces, I don't think they'll be back. So, who is this Topaz anyway? She seems to have no problem ordering these idiots around. Or taming fragmentum creatures, for that matter.
It's a long story.
Det? What do you mean?
You should probably ask Branya to explain it to you.
Why did this mess have to happen so close to the festivities? The timing couldn't have been any worse.
Oh, looks like we've got a message. get the feeling Bronya's worried about something. We'd better go back and see her. Are you coming with us, Zila?
Go on without me. I still have stuff to take care of. The miners need to know what happened here. Bronya messaged you, which means she thinks you can help. I trust her judgment.
Got it, Zila. We'll do what we can to help Bronya out. Come on, to Klipoth Fort!
These guys don't look like disease.
By order of the Supreme Guardian, proceed no further. Miss Topaz.
Billabong might be in arrears, but I'm out of pocket. See you later, Captain.
Welcome back. I appreciate your help more than I can express. It couldn't have been easy running all over the city.
That's what friends are for, Bronya. You don't sound like yourself. Is something wrong?
I'm fine. I haven't rested in a while. There's just too much happening all at once. They're moving quickly. Belobog is crawling with their agents. All they talk about is asset evaluation. The silver lining is that apart from the mine incident you mentioned, there haven't been any major conflicts in other areas. I suppose Topaz must have issued an order against harassing the citizenry. Still, that hasn't stopped panic from building. People are confused. They don't know where these strangers in black came from, nor what their intentions are.
Did you manage to get in touch with Topaz again? We're curious to know what solution she has in mind.
That's the reason I asked for you to come here. I need your advice. Look.
It's...
The contract Topaz sent to me a little while ago. There's a handwritten letter attached. Please, take a look at the contents. And then tell me your thoughts.
Miss Bronya, if you'll permit me to call you that, I'd like to share a story with you from my own life. In your eyes, the IPC may seem heartless or cruel, but in reality, we all have a story to tell. As for myself, I was born on a small, unremarkable planet at the edge of the galaxy, a place whose name is known only to the native inhabitants. My home planet was extremely resource poor. To survive, people worked laboriously, manufacturing products for other civilizations in the galaxy, mostly in chemical or heavy industries. Given these circumstances, the natural environment of my home planet became increasingly harsh. I don't recall the exact moment when it happened, but people started wearing respirators just to walk down the street. All you could hear were the wheezing coughs of the people, day and night. My home was facing its demise. The relatively wealthy chose interstellar migration and started anew. The majority who stayed could only struggle on amidst sewage, acid rain, and dust, waiting for the end. Finally, one fateful day, the IPC arrived on my home planet. They had the technology to repair our planet's damaged environment. In return for their help, they asked for just one thing: that all inhabitants sign a contract which would make them employees of the IPC. 2 years after signing the contract, the dark clouds and haze disappeared, and people began to take off their masks. After 3 years, vegetation and trees began to grow and thrive again. After 5 years, many animals, previously on the brink of extinction, reappeared. When I was finally old enough, I officially became a member of the Strategic Investment Department. I witnessed the changes that took place on my homeworld, and was determined to bring the same changes to many other worlds in the galaxy that were experiencing the same plight. I am writing to you, Miss Branya, with the genuine desire to express something important. I know freedom is precious to people, but in reality, there are things of much greater value, such as survival. How many generations of Belabogians will it take to embrace the stars again without assistance? Who can guarantee that every future Guardian will be as prudent and enlightened as you? How can you guarantee that a disaster such as the Stellaron crisis will not descend upon Belobog yet again? I have already negotiated the best possible deal for you. Once you sign this contract, all of Belobog's debts will be forgiven. In addition, the IPC will set up a special team to support the reconstruction of Urilo 6. I can understand that for you, this is an extremely difficult decision, because you, and you alone, will bear the fate of all Belabogians. But because of this, I believe that you will make the right decision. A decision that will truly benefit your people.
Her words do sound quite sincere. What do you make of it?
I agree. But it struck me as an honest letter. I found the contents quite moving. It's hard to imagine she'd write something like this just to deceive me. In any case, she wasn't wrong when she said this would be an extremely difficult decision. This planet's fate, the civilization it carries, everything that's happened here and everything that will happen, it all rests in my hands. This definitely can't, and shouldn't, be a decision made by me alone. That thought has crossed my mind, and it comforts me to hear you say that.
Right. I don't think it's fair for you to carry the weight alone. Why not discuss it with others first?
Topaz hasn't given me much time to consider. She wants me to decide as soon as possible. I wanted to put it to a vote, and let all the citizens of both the overworld and the underworld have their say. But with such little time, I'm afraid that's a lost cause. I'll convene the Klapoth Fort architects immediately to discuss the contract. As for the locals, I'd like you to gauge their stance on the matter. The people of Belobog hold both of you in high regard. They'll most certainly be willing to tell you their thoughts.
I think we should leave this matter to the Belabogians. Don't you agree? We've got your back. We failed to convince Topaz, but this should be a piece of cake.
Thank you, March. I'll assemble the ministers. Let's meet up here again later.
All right. If we want to make an informed decision, we need to hear from both the
Careful now.
We meet again. How have you two been? Uh-oh. That look on your face tells me something's wrong. I hope it's nothing too serious. Sounds serious. I'm all ears. Really? You better not be making things up.
I wish it were made up. Unfortunately, it's all true. We don't have much time, Pela. Branya wants to get everyone's opinion.
Wait, you're telling me I have to make this huge decision on the spot? At least give me a few seconds to think it over. Okay, I think I've got it. If it were up to me, I'd probably agree to the IPC's conditions.
Huh. Okay. Any particular reason?
I've looked at some of the climate reports, and based on the data I've seen, it'll take 3 or 4 more generations for the snow to completely subside, and that's assuming no other disasters occur. I care more about those in the present than a future I can't be sure of. If the IPC is able to bring about immediate change, then I think that's a price well worth paying. Building a better world for future generations sounds great, right? But is it any fun for the engineers and architects who are directly involved in such a pursuit?
I see. So, compared to a distant and uncertain future, what you really care about is making sure the people around you have a good life. Thanks for your input. I'll make a note of your opinion.
Well, look who we have here! You and Marge paying us a visit. What's the occasion? Uh-oh, sounds like... What? How is that possible? I need a moment to wrap my head around this.
Serval, we're racing against the clock. No time for head wrapping.
It's okay. I've thought it through. If it were up to me, I'd sign the contract.
What? Hold on, are you serious? I thought you'd be against it for sure.
Surprised? My reasons are pretty simple. Signing this contract would mean we no longer have to worry about surviving. For most of the residents here, especially those in the underworld, that would be more than enough to persuade them. As for working for the company, people need to work no matter where they are, right? If the IPC tries to take too many liberties, we can always rise up against them. You know, I've always longed for the stars since I was a child, which is why I devoted myself to science and the studying of the Stellaron. If someone told me that I could do whatever research I wanted with only a small price to pay, I probably wouldn't hesitate.
I see. I suppose that makes sense. Thanks for your input. I'll make a note of your opinion.
Is that the Trailblazers? It's been a while. I didn't think you'd be back in Belobog so soon. It's been pretty hectic in the city lately. All these people dressed in black suddenly showed up, and even the Silvermane guards have had trouble dealing with them. Do you need my opinion? I'm happy to help. So that's who they are. It's worse than I imagined. The Madam Guardian must be under a lot of pressure. Is there really nothing we can do to assist her?
We're here to gather everyone's opinion on the matter. I know this is a little sudden, but we're running out of time. What's your take?
Why, I'd refuse the contract, of course. There is no room for compromise. Just look at them. Arrogant, stomping around here as if they own the place. How can such people be trusted? Who's to say they won't breach the contract? Faced with this sort of coercion, we must resist them with all our might. Surrendering is not an option. You must warn the Madam Guardian not to allow herself to fall into their trap.
A soldier's perspective is always valuable, Dun. Thanks for your input. I'll make a note of your opinion. Did we miss anyone in the overworld? From what I've gathered, it seems like most people in the overworld are leaning towards signing the IPC's contract. We'd better hurry to the underworld and see what Natasha and Zila make of it all.
Time to log off.
What brings you two to the underworld? Seems a little out of the blue, but since you came all this way, it must be urgent. That is a lot of information to take in. Sorry, both of you. I know you're in a hurry, but I need a moment to think.
No stress, Nat. Just tell us what you really think.
I've thought about it, and... well, if I were Bronya, I wouldn't sign it. I won't deny the offer on the table is a very tempting one. And if we refuse, Belobog will not only have the burden of a huge debt, we may also incite the wrath of a very powerful force. But even so, a quote I read back in school came to me just now. Those who are willing to give up freedom for security will end up with neither. Living in the underworld has taught me that this phrase is true. I'd rather trek through the frigid snow plains than live in a beautiful cage.
Wow, that's a pretty convincing argument. Another vote for the against pile. Thanks for your insight, Nat.
None other than the saviors of Belobog. To what do I owe the pleasure? To be honest, I'm surprised you even remembered an old geezer like me. But I can tell by the look on your faces you're probably not dropping by to say hi. Let me guess. Something to do with these unruly people in black showing up everywhere? Well, ask away. It just so happens I'm curious about them myself. Maybe I can be of some help. I see. That's a tricky situation, all right. A lot for anyone to handle, let alone someone as young as Lady Bronya.
Mr. Oleg, out of all the people we know in Belobog, you have the most life experience. What do you think we should do?
Want to hear the truth? I'm afraid great ambitions and lofty plans no longer hold much appeal for an old-timer like me. If this IPC does indeed possess the magical power to restore Belobog back to its former self overnight, then I think the answer is clear. Have you considered the opposite? What about if we refuse? The reconstruction plan already sounds like an endless endeavor, and with the added burden of a massive debt, now, is that something we can manage on our own? What worries me the most is how Lady Bronya will handle the backlash from her people. Will she be able to withstand the criticism? Is she prepared to carry the weight of a tarnished reputation for years to come?
Huh. I guess I never looked at it from that angle. I wouldn't wish that title on anyone. Thank you for your thoughts, Mr. Oleg. Another vote for the 4 pile.
Miss March, big sister, what brings you to the underworld?
Hey there, Clara. Is Svarog not around?
Mr. Svarog went out for a walk with a lady called Topaz.
What? Topaz? Do you know where they went?
I'm not sure, but Mr. Svarog promised he'd be back soon.
What now? Svarog's super logical. We should definitely get his opinion. True. Don Hung's always saying that Clara's really insightful for her age.
Huh? Miss March. That's complicated. I don't know what to say.
It's all right, Clara. No pressure. Just tell us how you feel about it.
I think if we have a choice for the future, it should be everyone's decision. Because when I was playing with Hook, the moles, and the other kids, we talked about our dreams. Everyone has different dreams. If we accept Miss Topaz's offer, then doesn't that mean our dreams will never come true? Just taking away people's dreams like that. I don't know. It feels wrong.
You're right. Children see the world as a place where anything is possible. Just the thought of our lives being predestined from birth makes me shiver. Thanks, Clara. Your thoughts mean a lot to us. All that running around has worn me out. So, the final conclusion is the votes are completely even. I don't know what to do. Both sides have really compelling arguments. Right! We haven't asked Zila. She's probably still in the Great Mine helping the miners. Come on, let's get going.
Back so soon? Are you feeling all right? You look a little uneasy. I can tell from your tone that this isn't gonna be a lighthearted chat. But I'm ready to hear it. I think I get it. At first, I thought it was just a few IPC ruffians overstepping their boundaries.
Yeah, you didn't think the future of Belobog was at stake, right?
Right. I need a little time to process this.
As it stands, the votes are even. Your opinion will make all the difference.
In that case, I abstain.
What?
No, this responsibility rests on Branya's shoulders, not mine. No matter the choice she makes, she has far greater foresight than I do. She can see the bigger picture more clearly than I can. The vote is tied. If I were to give you my view, it would tip the scales and possibly impact her final choice. I'll respect whatever decision she makes, but it's not my place to make it for her.
Understood, Zila. This is a difficult decision to make, and everyone feels differently about it. It's times like these that a leader must stand up and do what's needed.
Right. It's Branya's decision. She knows what's at stake. She won't run away from her duty. I trust her wholeheartedly. If she asks you, just let her know my reasoning. She'll understand.
Well, it's all in Branya's hands now. She has to make the final call. Right? I'm glad Belobog has someone like her in charge. The time has come. Let's go fill her in. I'm curious to see how she's handling those Klapoth ministers.
Time to log off. Head back.
Whoa, the fort's packed! I've never seen this many people here before.
March, you're back. So, what's the verdict? What do the people think?
We talked to people in both the overworld and the underworld. The final result was a tie.
see. I suppose everyone has their own way of seeing things. I can't say I'm surprised. What was Zila's perspective on the matter? I should have known. That sounds like Zila, all right.
Did you come to a conclusion with the ministers? Oh, it's so loud I can't tell what anyone's saying.
It's pretty much the same situation here. Neither party is willing to compromise. The time has come to make a decision. This chaos cannot be allowed to continue any longer.
Enough! All of you! I know what to do.
Wait! I have something to say to the Supreme Guardian.
But aren't you?
Himeko? Wait, is that the real you or a hologram?
It's the real me, March. Real as they come.
Miss Himeko, from the Astral Express? It's an honor. Thank you for all your help in our previous campaign. Things might have turned out differently without your support. If we had known of your arrival beforehand, the architects would have given you a proper welcome. I'm afraid the current circumstances are quite exceptional.
I understand, Miss Rania. No need to explain. Your city is facing immense difficulties. My intention is simply to ensure that you have all the relevant intel. I hesitate to call it a solution, but I might have some information that might help. It is my hope that with this information, you will be better equipped as the Supreme Guardian to make a wise and informed decision.
Information? Please, tell me what you know, Miss Himeko.
I happen to have a friend with knowledge of Topaz. What Topaz said about her home world is indeed true, which is why she believes that the IPC's takeover of Belobog is the only way of ensuring the city's survival. But there is one thing she intentionally left out. Not all worlds that have accepted the IPC's terms have been saved.
You mean...
Performing ecological reconstruction on a planet carries inevitable risks. According to the intel provided by my friend, the success rate for the ecological reconstruction of worlds using the IPC's technology is 63%.
Only 63% of planets succeed? That's not exactly comforting.
This is the overall average across all IPC projects. The success rate of projects personally handled by Topaz is above 80%. She's undoubtedly one of the most capable people in her field. I wanted to bring these numbers, these probabilities, to light. I think it's only fair that you know all the facts before making a decision. Ultimately, it's up to you, Supreme Guardian, to make the final call.
I understand. Thank you, Miss Himeko. This information is of great help. Regardless of how alluring their promises may be, this contract is nothing more than a gamble. As a leader, I cannot let the future of Belobog hinge on a roll of the dice.
Now that you've decided, I don't have to pretend to be impartial anymore. I think you're making the right choice, Branya.
Astro friends, I have an idea, but for it to work, I'll need everyone's cooperation. I need some time to rally all the residents in the city, and then I'll meet with Topaz again. Please locate her for me. It doesn't matter where she is or what she's doing. And if the IPC is still trying to take over Belobog's assets, I ask that you do everything in your power to stop them.
Don't worry. Leave it to us. We'll find her. It won't be easy dealing with her, but these two will help me get the job done.
Belobog's future is not for sale. And we'll never forget the friends who stood by us in our time of need. Not once, but twice. Stay safe, everyone.
Shepard should be waiting for us in Rivet Town, right? Here we go again. Back to our old stomping grounds for another adventure.
Time to log off. I mean, head back.
The Supreme Guardian has briefed me on the situation and asked that I assist you in locating Topaz. Ready to enter Rivet Town? We'll go in together when everyone is set. Keep your guards up. We might run into IPC agents ahead.